Shri Tapovar Paramaguravaya Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadguravaya Namaha. Om Shri Guru Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhavatu Sahadevam Karavahare Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidyashvarahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachanudamadam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagagurum Samastajana Kalyane Brahmamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadguru Brahmadevaram. Salutations to all. So our topic for today is success at the mind. So all of us know that whatever we achieve in life, we have to achieve using our mind. And so, how do we manage our mind is a very, very important aspect. If we have to manage our whole life, we have to manage our mind. Especially in today's times, when the life has become so much more fast, so much more technology has made it more comfortable. What is that one thing which is very important in this time management? We live in an age where there is so much of conflict, anxiety, tension. If there is one skill that is very crucial, what would you say that is?
Keeping the mind calm.
Right. Keeping the mind calm. Maintaining calmness in the mind is one of the most vital skills, because all decisions that we have to make, we have to make through the mind. If the mind gets disturbed, our decisions will become wrong also sometimes. Gurudev used to say, before the exam the student is wise, after the exam the student is equally wise, but in the exam the student is otherwise. Because some question that comes, one doesn't know the answer, and the percentage that one wants, suddenly one gets anxious, oh, will I get that or not, and what will happen to my future? So the moment the mind gets disturbed, then whatever we know, that also we tend to forget. And we come under the influence of whatever that agitation is, and we end up making the wrong decisions. So maintaining calm is a very, very important aspect, because our life is governed by the choices that we make. And to make the right choice, the mind must be calm. So Gurudev used to say that when the mind is calm, the intellect is sharp, and the decisions are rational, right, and rewarding. This is a connection between the mind and the intellect. If the mind is calm, intellect is sharp, decisions are objective, one moves ahead beautifully. But if the mind gets disturbed, I may know many things, but that knowledge will completely get eclipsed. So the decision may not be appropriate. So how to keep the mind calm? That is the success. This applies at work, this applies in relationship, this applies in spiritual practice, everywhere. How to keep the mind calm? So what is the meaning of a calm mind? Does a calm mind mean a mind which is thoughtless? A mind which is blank? No, because then how will we interact? How will we transact with the world? A calm mind does not mean a blank mind. Thoughtlessness is not the goal that we strive to reach. This is what a calm mind means. A calm mind is a happy mind, conflict-free mind, a mind which feels positive, a mind which feels inspired, a mind which feels enthusiastic, where the mind is not under the sway of some emotions. Where the mind is an efficient mind, where the mind is able to execute its own plans. There is no gap between what it knows and what it is doing. Because otherwise what happens, I know something but I act in some other way. Because the mind is carried away by some other impulses, some attachment, something. So calm mind is a happy mind, an efficient mind, a loving mind, which feels love for itself, for others, and it is a very strong mind. So it is not a blank mind, it is not a thoughtless mind, and definitely it is anchored in spiritual knowledge also. So calm mind is all these. With such a mind, whatever we do, we will become successful. Calm mind is also a very creative mind. Innovative ideas come to a person through that. Nowadays, a lot of people talk about innovation, thinking out of the box, disruptive thinking. How does all that come? When the mind is in a sattvic mode, when the mind is in a calm mode, all these ideas, intuitive, creativity, all that will start manifesting. So, how to maintain the calm mind is a key. In the Geeta, in the 6th chapter, Arjuna tells Shri Krishna that Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati bhayavat. That, oh Krishna, my mind has these four qualities. It is chanchal, it is extremely fickle. It doesn't stay on a thought consistently. It keeps jumping from one thought to the other. Even if it stays for some time, after some time it again shifts to something else. Think about it, 1.5 hours of the talk. Will the mind fully be here in the talk? Some part of the mind will be, will tomorrow the match happen or not? Will rain spoil the sport? Should I come tomorrow or should I not come? One part of the mind suddenly thinks like that. One part of the mind is on food, one part of the mind is on some, tomorrow is Sunday, I think I should get up late and have a relaxed day. There the mind goes. Again one brings it back. So chanchal, one is very, very fickle. In fact, in the scripture there is a beautiful analogy given. Mind is a monkey. See, monkey by itself is restless. Imagine a monkey which has been fed with alcohol. How will that monkey be? So mind is a monkey fed with the alcohol of desires, bit by the scorpion of jealousy, and totally overcome by the ghost of comparisons. This is analogy to it. But the beauty is such a monkey also can be mastered, but the mind to master is very difficult. Because the mind is so restless, fickle, impulsive, very impulsive, it takes decisions. And impulsiveness is such a thing, it is very momentary. At that moment it comes. I may say, when I am going to meet this person, today evening I am going to see this person in the talk. I am not going to get angry. I am not going to get disturbed. I am going to prepare. And the moment one sees that person, what happens? Impulsively anger will arise. So what I know, many times doesn't come to my rescue. Impulses take over, instincts and impulses. So Chanchalami Mana Krishna, Pramati means very impulsive. Balavat, it very strongly gets attached. Even if we try to bring it away from its attachment, it will not stay. Again it will go back. Unyielding it is. Dridham. Balavat Dridham means such a strong attachment that unyielding. You bring it out of it, again it goes there. Somebody said, To quit smoking is so easy. I've already done it 100 times. Think about it. 100 times. Again and again it goes back. Suppose I tell you, don't think of the polar bear. Polar bear is white in color. Don't think of polar bear. Right now global warming is happening, polar bear is going through a lot of difficulty. But you don't think of polar bear. What does the mind do? Every time we say don't think of polar bear, what happens? It will think of that one. Because it doesn't know what not to do. It only knows what to do. I have to divert the mind somewhere else if I don't have to think of the polar bear. So if I take the mind, especially to something which is this attached to, I try to pull it away. You think of the day when you do upvas. The maximum thoughts of food come on which day? When I am doing upvas. So unyielding it is. Now Arjun says these are four problems in my mind. Chanchalam, Pramati, Balavat, Vidha. And he says, he gives analogy there that to control a storm outside is more easy because you can predict it, you can take some measures. So they predicted that cyclone will hit Gujarat and they evacuated 3 lakh people. Because you can predict. But can we predict what the mind will think next moment? Next moment, what thought will come? Can't predict. That's why one philosopher, Eknath Ishwar, said very nicely, we don't think our thoughts think us. They will come anytime. So now, how to control this mind? In Geeta, Bhagavan gives 2 main solutions, and under that we will see the sub-solutions. So we see in the Gita what it says. So he says, Asamchayam Mahabaho Manodurnigraham Chalam. He says, oh Arjun, it is indeed, mind is difficult to control, it is fickle, but Tasyam Nigraham, Abhyasena to Kaunteya Vairagyena Chadikati. With Abhyas and Vairagya, you can control it. So these are 2 very important pointers that Bhagavan has given. How to manage our mind, how to keep the mind calm. First is to manage the impulsiveness. See the fickleness and impulsiveness. First 2 points, Chanchalam and Pramati. They will go when I learn to anchor my mind in a support system. So we need stabilizers by which I can hold on and wither the storm that is coming. That the mind gets disturbed, I need to hold on to something at that point in time. Because when that impulsiveness of emotion arises or the mind is wandering, if I give it a support system, it will stay anchored. It will not go here and there. So that is called stabilizer, where I need to stabilize it. Different types of stabilizer the Gita gives us that we will see. And then we also need an anchor, which are deeper attitudinal changes. First part is the techniques. Second part is the attitudinal changes. That in certain attitudes, if we anchor, then the mind will not get disturbed. Only one of them will not work. Only techniques will not work because techniques are for certain time period. Attitudes are for longer duration, life. So attitudes what we adopt along with the techniques, then they will help to settle the mind in the long run. Otherwise, for some time with the technique I can make the mind quiet, again it might get disturbed. So what is the deeper solution is we need inner strength and centering in the right attitude. So that is Vairagya. When we say Vairagya, don't imagine, oh my God, Vairagya means I have to leave everything, go away in the forest and renounce. No. We will see what it is. These are different attitudes which all of us can apply in our life where we are while living here itself. So first we will come to the stabilizers. When impulsive emotions arise, when the mind is fickle, when the mind is agitated, how do I keep the mind quiet? So first thing we have to know is that when emotions go out of control, even the smartest people can become dumb. Arjun was a smart person, but he started talking like a dumb person. When his emotions overwhelmed him, what did he start saying? He said it is better that they kill us than even be fighting them. It is better that I go into the forest than be here. Suddenly the whole thing changes. This is called emotional hijacking, where emotions hijack the mind. At such a time, one should not act. One should let that moment pass. That is why we need the stabilizer to make the mind stable. So Gurudev used to say, let not the storms of your heart cover the sun in your. At that moment when I am feeling very disturbed, suppose I read somebody's WhatsApp message, a disturbing message. I don't need to respond immediately because my mind is disturbed right now. If I respond to something, I may land up giving a wrong response, hurting myself and other person also. So I need to let that moment pass. How will I let it pass? I need some stabilizer to hold on. So at that moment, first thing to do is don't take a decision. Postpone decision making for that much time. Say, I will answer after 15 minutes, not right now. Arjun, he surrendered to Sri Krishna and he asked him to please guide me. His mind was feeling very impulsive, but he did not act on that. He waited. He said, no, let me not decide because, and he said very clearly, Dharma Samura Cheta, I am disturbed now, I am not able to distinguish what is Dharma and what is Adharma. So I am not going to act upon it. Now you please guide me. So that's a very important point. When we are disturbed emotionally, at mental level, not to take a decision, not to act upon it, wait, hold back. And then after some time act. So first point, first stabilizer is what? Well, I have to understand what is emotional hijack. You know how the emotional hijack happens is like this. Our spine, information enters through our spine, comes to the back of the head. This is called amygdala here. This is the emotional brain. And this is our frontal lobe. This frontal lobe is what distinguishes human being from all the other creatures. So before it comes from here to here, already every single input that we receive, our system is designed as though in a faulty way. And it will pass through the emotional brain and then only come to the frontal lobe. The moment it passes through here, if something has triggered already, this will completely hijack everything. My mind will be disturbed, finished. So that is called amygdala hijack. That's a technical term. Next time you get upset, you get very disturbed, you can tell my amygdala is got hijacked. Anger, agitation, disturbance. What happened? Amygdala got hijacked. So what do I have to do? Any stabilizer that I use should be such that it will activate my frontal lobe. So the stabilizer one is to activate the frontal lobe. I can count from 1 to 50, or better it is count from 50 to 1. Whatever can invoke logic, if you want you to start solving that Sudoku. I'm just giving examples. You can do anything, crossword, Sudoku, anything which will activate the logical brain. Emotional brain is hijacking the information. I am very disturbed. What do I need to do? Activate the frontal lobe. To activate frontal lobe, anything that is sequential, logical, that has to be used. So that is stabilizer number 1. You activate the frontal lobe. Stabilizer number 2 is delay the response. Don't deny the response. This delaying response can happen when I learn to delay the response even when I am excited. You know, when we are some good news comes, then we get very irritated, and then we want to enjoy, and we want to celebrate. There also, if I hold back a little bit, in good times, if I know how to delay the response, in difficult times also, I will know how to delay the response. There's a very nice book called The Road Less Traveled. Has anybody read it? The Road Less Traveled. 2, 3 people. Scott Peck, he wrote The Road Less Traveled. Very nice. In that, there is this concept of delaying gratification. That enjoyment I can delay. If impulsively I feel like I should go and eat a sweet right now, I am reading something and I like to go and eat a sweet immediately, because impulsively I am feeling like that. And I say, not now, let me complete this whole book or this whole whatever page. After that I will go and eat. So that impulsive moment passes. It is like sleep, when we are feeling very sleepy, suppose you get up and walk or drink some coffee or do some phone call, and that moment of sleep passes, then what happens? Another 2-3 hours I can pull on and do my work. In that way, that momentary impulse has to go. So, if at that time I am able to delay, this delaying gratification is a very, very important tool in spiritual life also, because a lot of times we compromise because of this tendency for immediate gratification. I want instant result, immediate gratification. Especially in today's world, immediate gratification is so much. Everything is prompted by immediate gratification, instant. If it is not happening instantly, I lose patience. So this delayed gratification is very important. And we used to practice this delayed gratification, we still practice in our culture. See, when food we eat, before we eat food, what are we supposed to do? We have to pray. And in our culture, we chant the 15th chapter of the Geeta. So hot food is sitting right in front of you. You are hungry also. You want to attack and finish it. But you have to chant the whole 15th chapter of the Geeta. So what am I training the mind in? Delay the gratification, remember the Lord, don't go in for immediate temptation. Like that, many methods are there in our culture. So there was a very nice experiment done with small children about delaying gratification, and how they taught this, how they observed that those children who are able to delay gratification, they grow up to achieve such great results. And those who are not able to hold back and they immediately fall for it, they have challenges.
I'm here because I have a very important message. I think we have found the most important factor for success. And we have found close to here, Stanford, psychology professor took kids that were 4 years old and put them in a room all by themselves. And he would tell the child, 4-year-old kid, Johnny, I'm going to leave you here with a marshmallow for 15 minutes. If after I come back, this marshmallow is here, you will get another one. So you will have 2. To tell a 4-year-old kid to wait 15 minutes for something that they like is equivalent to tell us, we'll bring you coffee in 2 hours. Exactly correct. So, what happened when the professor left the room? As soon as the door closed, 2 out of 3 ate the marshmallow. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, some lasted 14 and a half minutes. Couldn't do it. Could not wait. What's interesting is that 1 out of 3 would look at the marshmallow and go like this. Would look at it, put it back. They would walk around, they would play with their skirts and pants. That child already at 4 understood the most important principle for success, which is the ability to delay gratification. Self-discipline, the most important factor for success. 15 years later, 14, 15 years later, follow-up story. What did they find? They went to look for these kids that were now 18 and 19, and they found that 100% of the children that had not eaten marshmallow were successful. They had good grades, they were doing wonderful, they were happy, they had their plans, they had good relations with the teachers, students, they were doing well fine. A great percentage of the kids that ate marshmallow, they were in trouble. They did not make it to the university, they had bad grades, some of them dropped out, a few were still there with bad grades, a few had good grades. I had a question in my mind. Will Hispanic kids react the same way as the American kids? So I went to Colombia and I reproduced the experiment, and it was very fun. They used 4, 5, and 6 years old kids. And let me show you what happened.
Hasta para un niño de 4 años, es atractiva la idea de tener el 100% de retorno a la inversión en 15 minutos. Sin embargo, algunos de ellos, tan pronto la puerta se cerró, se prendieron el fuego inmediatamente. Otros, en cambio, resistieron el impulso.
So, what happened in Colombia? Hispanic kids, 2 out of 3 ate the marshmallow, 1 out of 3 did not. This little girl was interesting. She ate the inside of the marshmallow. In other words, she wanted us to think that she had not eaten it, so she would get 2. But she ate it. So we know she'll be successful, but we have to watch her. She should not go into banking, for example, or work in a cash register, but she will be successful. And this applies for everything, even in sales. The salesperson that the customer says, I want that, and say, okay, here you are. The person is marshmallow. If the salesperson says, wait a second, let me ask you a few questions to see if this is a good choice, then you sell a lot more. So this has applications in all walks of life. I end with the Koreans did this. You know what is so good? We want a marshmallow book for children. And then we did one for children, and now it's all over Korea. They're teaching these kids exactly this principle, and we need to learn that principle here in the States because we have a big debt. We're eating more marshmallows than we're producing. Thank you so much.
Such a nice, simple experiment. You can try going home and do it. So, delaying gratification. If I am able to delay the gratification for the things that I love, then I can delay my response for the things that are difficult also. In the Geeta, where this is said. So when he describes the 18th chapter, Bhagavan says there that what is that type of an enjoyment which is tamasic happiness? That which is instant pleasure, but which leads to pain ultimately. That is called tamasik pleasure. And Bhagavan says that should be avoided completely. But that which is pain in the beginning, but ultimately it appears it is good for the person, that is called sattvic sukha. So a person has to train the mind to get away from the tamasic one and get into the sattvic one, which means that immediate gratification I should know how to let go. So that is the first aspect. The first stabilizer was when we say that activate the frontal lobe. Second stabilizer is where I delay the response, I don't deny it. Third one is our breath is a very, very powerful medium to anchor our mind. So in the Geeta, Bhagavan gives the pranayam yajna, in 12 types of yajnas that he gives. 4th chapter, 29th verse, he says this. Apane jubbati pranam, prane panam tatha pare, prana panagati ruddhva, pranayama prayana. So how to control our breath? Because when the mind is disturbed, our breathing also becomes affected. When the mind is calm, breath becomes deep. So the vice versa also can be done. With the breath becoming deeper, the mind can become quieter. So when the mind is angry, I can consciously change my breath to become deeper. This visual is very simple and very nice. So we will take 2 minutes and we will follow this exercise. It's a very simple exercise. As the circle grows bigger, you have to take the breath in. And as the circle becomes smaller, you have to leave the breath out. Okay? So leave the breath out, breath in, release, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Slow, steady and deep, no jerks. Not to be done fast. Slow, steady and deep. So now you just see if the breath becomes a little slower, inhalation and exhalation, the mind automatically becomes quiet. So that is one more stabilizer. Abhyasa is what the Lord used. So we go to the next stabilizer, which is practice. Bruce Lee said a very nice thing. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Because that will have tremendous amount of power and mastery. So, this is the power of practice. In Geeta, we know Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga. But there is one more yoga in the Gita that is called Abhyasa Yoga. That is the practice of single consciousness. So using a mantra or a form or even the breath or a chakra, any support system, I have to train my mind to be single pointed and avoid all other distractions. If I can do that, I am making my mind extremely powerful, because whatever will come into such a mind, which is single pointed, it will manifest in the world outside. This technique, we call it as Abhyasa Yoga, but the modern neuroscience calls it as neurosculpting. Neurosculpting is where they say that you hold on to one object in the mind, avoid all the other objects, all the other distractions. For how long can you hold that object in the mind? And at exercise will be very simple. So they will say that in the space between the two eyebrows, visualize a circle and fill that circle with, let us say, blue color. Now, for how long are you able to see that blue color circle? The circle should not vanish, the color should not fade, the shape of the circle should not change. Shifting, warping, fading, these three things should not happen. If you hold on to that circle for how much time? 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, you write it down. The moment that shape becomes shifted, or it warps, or it fades, you open your eyes, write down for how much seconds you were able to hold on. Then again, set the timer, close your eyes, again visualize the circle, blue color light in the circle. Fill the circle with blue color and hold on to that. Now, what am I doing in that? Training the mind to hold on to one object to the exclusion of everything else. That ability when I get, then I increase my concentration at work, whatever I am doing. At the same time, I know how to direct attention. This is called attention training. I am training my attention to remain focused only on that one thing, not allowing it to dissipate. This attention training, if I learn, then I get the ability to ensure that my mind does not wander. Wherever I want the mind to be, there I can direct the attention of the mind. So that fickleness, what we spoke about earlier, that the mind is restless, fickle, impulsive, that fickleness of the mind goes with this attention training. Which in our culture, in a simple way, we say what? Japa, dhyan, visualization, all that. So, Abhyas Yoga is a very important aspect. In the 6th chapter, Bhagavan gives the solution. Abhyas Yoga to Kaunteya, Vairagya to Grishyate. So, one of the most powerful methods for that is the mantra japa. You know, for the Muslims, the standard practice, if I say what is the standard practice for the Muslims, what will you say? Namaz. For the Christians, Sunday Mass. For the Hindus, that you are saying because it's which japa? Ishtadevta japa. Gayatri mantra. Gayatri mantra was given to all the people in the Vedic times. The deterioration of the culture is we have forgotten that. That is the standard. Before I go into the Gurukul to start the study of the Veda, the Janev Samskar is done. And it was done for both men and women. Unfortunately today somehow that wrong notion has come about that women cannot chant Gayatri mantra. It is not true. One can chant. They used to wear Janev also. They used to teach in the Gurukuls also. There were Guru Patnis, Rishi Patnis, so many things. So, Gayatri Mantra is our standard practice. That we all have to chant the Gayatri Mantra. And along with the Gayatri Mantra, if you have an Ishtadevta's Mantra, then you chant the Ishtadevta's Mantra. Ishtadevta means my personal God, my favorite form. Choose a mantra of that deity. And if you don't want to have a form, even you can worship the Lord through the formless. In our culture, we have all the three options. Worship the Lord with form and qualities. So like Shivji, Durga, Devi, Ganesh, Vishnu, so many forms are there. Or worship the Lord only through the sound symbol, no form. Omkar is a sound symbol, there is no form. This form of Om is created by a human being. In the Vedas, there is no form of Om. Om is a Ekaksharam Dharma, it is called. It's only a sound symbol. And if one is still subtle in the mind, you can do even Nirgun Nirakar. No form, no sound. So mantra can be any of these. And do the japa, focus the mind. By itself it creates a lot of vibrations also. You know, if you this bowl is a Buddhist bowl, and they use a wooden stick and they move it around it. It creates a sound. Om. And vibration also will happen which will pass through your hands. It is very, very beautiful. So sound has like that power to heal, power to quieten the mind. So mantra japa is very simple technique but a very, very effective and a very powerful technique. So many great masters have realized the truth sheerly on the power of mantra japa. I take the questions at the end. So, any mantra one can use. And suppose one is disturbed at a point in time, you know, mantra is that which will start as a defense mechanism to help the mind to calm down. So, if I have done the practice of the mantra japa properly, it will be very, very helpful. One more thing one can use is Om Shanti Shanti. And when we say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, how do we say? We are supposed to say first one loudly, second one softly, third one softly. Experience it. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And then experience the quiet. So if the mind is disturbed, you can tell yourself Om Shanti. So mantras are another powerful stabilizer. If you are not able to sit and chant, the mind is disturbed at that point in time. Eknath Vishwaran gives this very nice method. He says you do mantra walk. While chanting the mantra, you walk briskly. So synchronize the walking, breathing and chanting. So what will that do? It will prevent the psychological build-up of whatever I am disturbed by. I will be able to take the mind away from it, channelize that energy into more productive way by chanting the mantra. It will bring me back to the present moment, not allow the mind to be anxious and wander. And slowly, slowly, when I come back to objectivity, I can relook at the problem, figure out what went wrong, what I need to do, how to solve it. So it is a very powerful method. If I am not able to sit down and chant, walk and chant. Mantra walk it is. So that can help to stabilize the mind. Now a simple exercise. You have to tell me what you observe here.
So it was 3
7 plus 3 is
10.
supposed to be 10. Okay. 10 into 20 is supposed to be 200. Okay, so how many equations are here?
10.
10 equations are here. How many are correct?
8.
How many are wrong?
2.
Where does our focus go to? Not that we should not notice that, but focus many times goes to the two which are. This is one of the main reasons why our mind gets disturbed. Because our focus is on that which is negative. So very important it is to be able to focus on what is the positive. In any situation, first and foremost, what are the positives? Otherwise the mind will be disturbed. There will be 10 positives, 1 negative, but that 1 negative will overwhelm the mind so much that we will lose all the other focus on the positive. This happens to us about ourselves also. We may have 1, 2, 3 weaknesses and we may have 10, 12 strengths. But many times our focus is always on my weakness. So my self-talk about myself also is very negative. What is my strength? Am I able to strengthen my strengths and weaken my weakness? That is what has to be done. And hence, in the Geeta, Bhagavan says that focus on the positive aspects. So very nice shloka in the first chapter. second chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan says, Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim. Tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nischaya. Arjun, there is nothing for you to lose in this war. If you win, you will get the kingdom. And if you lose, you will get Veer Swarga. What is there for you to be so disturbed about? See the positive aspects, do your duty. And further he goes on to say that Dharmyadi yuddha shreyogyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. That for a kshatriya to be on the side of dharma, to protect dharma, there is no greater fortune than that. In this for Arjun, this is the most difficult, pessimistic situation, negative situation. But Krishna says there is nothing better than this for you. The perception of both of them is completely different. Because Arjun got stuck up with one attitude that these are my relatives. And he forgot that these are actually soldiers. He is a soldier. He has come here to do his duty. The moment he forgot all that, the entire focus shifted. Now I have to kill them, what will society think? And the entire mind started thinking negative. So many times that is what happens, that our mind is disturbed because somewhere I am holding on to something which is disturbing, which is negative, ignoring many other good things. So these are different stabilizers that we saw. Before I go into the anchor, let us summarize the stabilizers. First stabilizer was activate the frontal lobe. Second stabilizer was delay the response, don't deny. Third stabilizer was breathing. Fourth stabilizer was power of practice, mantra. Fifth stabilizer, focus on the positive aspects. Now these are techniques. Our mind also gets disturbed because we sometimes do not anchor ourselves in the proper attitudes. So first attitude that is required, our mind must anchor in this attitude is that life is a pair of opposites we have to learn to accept. The more I resist life, more there will be a problem. More the mind will be disturbed. If I have done my best, whatever life is bringing, I have to learn to accept. And acceptance does not mean complacency. Acceptance is that, okay, this is the situation. Now, how do I respond to it? That freedom I have. So, there is no question of complacency in that. Positive or negative, whatever result has come, success or failure, heat or cold, pleasure or pain. Tomorrow, if India wins or India loses, can you and I do anything? We have to accept. So that acceptance is that. Now, how do I respond to that situation? That freedom is my freedom. But without acceptance, my mind will always be disturbed. So life will bring varied experiences. We must know how to accept life as it is and flow with the flow. Those who don't flow with the flow, in the sense of acceptance, I'm not saying accept everything that comes. Many times people who are against the flow are the people who create many innovative things also. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about non-acceptance and resistance to what life brings. So, in the Gita, Bhagavan says that this is the law of life, that when we live in the world, matra sparsha sukhaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha. When our senses contact the sense objects in the world, our experience will be a pair of opposites, either heat or cold, pleasure or pain, success or failure, praise or insult. Not to be affected by both these, meaning not to swing into the extremes. That is called acceptance and anchoring. So very beautiful video of Gurudev on this.
This is only because of your contact, the right contact with the word of life, nothing wrong. In wrong contact that you get entangled with the world outside. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkha, or your experience of heat and cold. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkha, contact the world. There are other people. A little hot, and you open the window. And the little you go on living Shitoshma Sukha or joy and sorrow, success and failure, loss and gain, is all way out of contact with it, that these various experiences. And then what am I to do then? I am here in this world. Agama Vaino Anitya. These are all Agama Vaino. They come and go. One moment hot, another moment cold. If you go on complaining, you get confused. Maybe today's something is very busy. Oh, very cold. And day before yesterday was saying that it's very hot. Summer has come. Half an hour, that's all. Now today, just the opposite. Touching very cold outside. Breeze, what the heat and cold. I mean, you really, if you keep your ears open, it's wonderful to hear that. The rain. No rain at all. No rain at all. And let there be rain for 3 days. Something. Rain or rain. Anything you're not rain. My people, my father and mother, they don't care for me. All my father and mother have landed. Swamiji, they have landed, they are not going. They are not going. Did the wife smile? I don't know why she is smiling so much. She just smiled, why should be? I think she is grinning at it. Now she doesn't smile. So very tragic. She is not smiling at all. She must smile exactly the signs that we expect her. Naturally, you are never happy. But she is an independent lady. She has got her own ways of smiling. You should have asked her before marriage that smile. Let me see. No, that is not the right type of smile. You understand? Dear. All your old mental projects. They are never the same. They are Agamavai. They come and go. Dam, Dikshatva. When they come to you, joys and sorrow, success and failure, Dam, them, Dikshatva, suffer silently. Don't get perturbed by them. By the time you say that I am sick, you have to say that now I am all right. Last 2 days, you're sick, very sick and all. So the third day I meet you and say, how are you now? Why? I am all right. And you will say, oh, that was last week. Now I am all right. Last week he was dead. And this week he is planning the next marriage. That's true. In your life also what? In your silent heart and what? Your friend crying and you went there for bereavement because his wife died. You also went. He also went. Third week, you get an invitation card. My marriage, please come. Now when you go there, you don't know whether to weep or to smile. So you do both together. He comes and goes. And he tries to give you an explanation that it is not that I want to marry, but then the 2, 3 children, small children, to look after them. This is the best babysitter available. It's really now, if you keep on watching how people move from one to the other. These are not to be, should not waste your time in running after up and down. When joy comes, you go beyond the clouds. When sorrow comes, you come crashing down. No, keep your balance. Let them come and go. But every one of us will be ups and downs. If a piece of wood is in the sea will have always the waves, and the wood is, what do you call that, floating on the water. Naturally, that wood will have to go up and down according to the rhythm of the waves. Isn't it? But the same waves, or in the same waves, is standing the lighthouse at the harbor. The waves come and break themselves at the feet of the lighthouse, but the lighthouse is not going up and down. Why? Lighthouse is not floating on the surface, but it is built on the foundation of the rock down below. Therefore, the light illumines the waves. The waves come and crash and die away. But the lighthouse stands steady. May you all learn to live like a lighthouse. In the tumultuous changes of situations and circumstances and the world of change and tossing situations in the world, learn to keep your balance. How? By building your life on firm foundations. When all of us are put in close life, they live in happiness the mind. And next to and go on up and down. These are all impermanent. They come and go. No joy can permanently stay with you. No sorrow can permanently stay with you. Then whatever you do, silently suffer. With dignity. With silent dignity, suffer. Because you know they are not going to be permanent. They will go away. Suffer them silently with integrity and patience. They will not be permanent. And enjoy yourself that life. And to achieve what you want to achieve in life without getting knocked down by all these different experiences that come and go.
So very nice example, Gurudev gave how to anchor our mind like the lighthouse. So this anchoring is through proper study, through proper understanding the deeper aspects of how the life is, what are the laws in the world outside, how my mind works, how do I anchor the mind in more of sattva guna, how to anchor in the deeper aspects like the truth. So what you saw, this is a beautiful clip from the Geeta. So the whole Geeta, Gurudev has given the talks. And one can systematically study. Gurudev's commentary on the Gita is also very, very inspiring. One of the most beautiful commentaries on the Gita, it is called the Holy Gita. So systematically when I study, then I lay down a firm foundation. And that's what we do in Chingma Mission through regular classes, through various talks like these, camps, workshops, many things. So that is one attitude where I learn to accept life as it comes. For that I must have a solid foundation of knowledge. Second anchor is where the Lord says, you work for the sake of work and dedicate it to the higher purpose. A very beautiful line in this second chapter is Tato Yuddhaya Yujyasva Naimam Papam Vapsasi. We always do work for the result, or we do work for the result of the result. Somebody should praise me, somebody should applaud me. That is the result of my result. There is nothing wrong in that. But if that is the main motivating factor, then the mind will be always anxious. But if I do the work for the sake of the work, because I love the work, then there is joy in the work itself. Then the result is a bonus. And if somebody praises or not, it doesn't even matter. So, when we say simple things, suppose I love to play a sport. If I love to play that sport, whether I win or lose makes no difference to me because I love the act, I love the playing. I don't love only the winning. If I love the game, I would do it for the sake of that game. An artist who loves to paint loves the painting, the process itself. So if I do things for its own sake, suppose we start doing exercise for the sake of exercise, where I start loving the very process. Not that I should not keep a result, I can keep a result, work towards it, but process is more important and I start loving that more than the result, then I will enjoy it, I will look forward to it, I don't have to push myself, again morning happened, again I have to go do exercise, all those things will not happen. I will enjoy it. And weight loss will be a byproduct. And suppose I lose some weight and nobody gives me a compliment, I will not even feel bad. Otherwise, sometimes what happens, I put so much of effort, I lose weight, I eat in that strict control, and nobody gave me a compliment that you lost weight. Then I feel people don't even notice. It's true, the whole world has become only selfish. They are bothered about themselves only. Why should I not then do what I want to do? I will also do what I want to do. No. Because I didn't do it for the sake of the joy that I derive out of it. I am doing it for other reasons. Now imagine this, I can extend to relationships. If I love people for the joy of loving, because love is a fulfillment unto itself. So much of dependency in relationship will just go away. So many times the mind is disturbed because of my expectations not being fulfilled. And many times the expectations are for these results and other things. So if I start doing things for its own sake, I love for the sake of love and I am here to love people. Whether they respond or not, that is their problem. A flower gives fragrance to everybody. Does a flower expect anything from anybody? It just gives fragrance. The sun gives light, the trees bear fruits, the waters are given by the rivers. Each one does it out of their dharma, that's all. Human being alone has the freedom. So that freedom we have to use for the higher purposes. So if I learn to do this, whatever I do for its own sake and then I dedicate it to a higher purpose, whether it is God, whether it is country, whether it is culture, I will remain inspired all the time. So that's the second anchor where I don't give the key of my happiness to anybody else. It remains within me. The third anchor is I must also choose my sense input. Sense control is a very important aspect because what I see, hear, taste, smell, touch, that becomes my thoughts. If I see things which are disturbing, which are violent, which are abusive, and there is so much of shouting, screaming, all that which is going on, how will my mind remain peaceful? Because what I am seeing constitutes my thoughts. So in the Geeta there is a beautiful example of a tortoise. That our senses must be like the tortoise. When we have to engage them, we must engage the senses. But when we know that something is harmful, we should know how to withdraw. So, few important aspects of the sense management in the Gita are deny to the body what is harmful and strictly deny it. So if I know that smoking is bad for me, I should just not touch it. If I know that alcohol is not good, do you know how much percentage of alcohol is good for the body?
Zero.
Today the research is 0%. No, whatever they use in medicine, that's a different point. But I am talking about alcohol as alcohol. It is not good for the body at all. So if I know this is harmful, I don't have to conform to it. No, Swami, there is social pressure, we have to drink. That's up to you, your conviction. You can stand up. On that, what will people do? 4 or 5 times they will taunt you, that's all. They will say you are a baby, we will give you milk, or we will give you fruit juice, or we will give you water. It's okay. My health is more important than your commitment. If I understand that much, I will stick to my convictions. What is harmful, I must deny. Because what happens is, when we don't deny what is harmful to the body, we are not denying anything else also which is harmful to the mind also. We are consuming anything and everything. And then we want what? Peace. Take all the disturbing inputs, but Swamiji Shanti nahi. How will it happen? I must have some sense control. Today in that meditation we spoke about choose sattvic methods to unwind. Just think about it. Today, if we have to celebrate, what will we do? The normal method of celebration today is what? Drink. And if somebody gets into disappointment, what they will do? Yeah, fantastic students of Geeta. They practice equanimity. In both situations, they drink. Celebration also they drink, disappointment also they drink. Why are there not better methods to unwind? There are so many sattvic methods to unwind, to enjoy, to relax, which will refresh the senses, which will make me more rejuvenated. So I have to find my own methods. Like Gurudev used to, he used to read Asterix comics, or he used to watch tennis, or he used to crack jokes. He found his methods to unwind. Everybody in today's world, when we go through stress, worries, tensions, we need something to unwind ourselves and relax. That unwinding must be a sattvic method. And very important point is balance and moderation. Yukta ahara viharasya, in the 6th chapter, Bhagavan says. Moderation in all enjoyments. Neither complete denial nor complete extreme indulgence. This is for permitted things, not those which are harmful. Harmful is already negated in the meaning. Don't say I do it in balance. Harmful things. No. What is good for me, that should be in balance. So if these 4 points I can apply, my senses I am in control. To a large extent, the mind will be focused, the mind will remain strong and positive. The 4th anchor is I should know what is the discrimination between what I can change and what I cannot change. Many times we are disturbed because we keep focusing on what I can't change, so I keep feeling helpless. And what I can change, I won't do anything about it. So this, Nike, what does it have? Just do it. They have a tick and they have just do it. So if there is something that I can do about a situation, I should just do it. And there is something that I cannot do, nothing can be done about it, then just drop it. These 2 are very important. I should know what to hold on to and what to drop. So many things which we hold on to. Big national problems are in our head. ये देश का क्या होगा, दुनिया का क्या होगा, कहाँ जा रहा है, it's going to come back to us. But what can you do about it? That one is not identifying, not one doing also. Why don't you make your mind quiet? How can I make my mind quiet? Everywhere there is restlessness. It is so selfish to become quiet. Ulta logic people give. But they ask also, Swami, is it not very selfish to seek your own moksha? There is nothing called your own moksha. Moksha means freedom from I and mine. That is called moksha. So what one can do, if I cannot be peaceful, how will I spread peace to people? So if the world has to become peaceful, who has to become peaceful? I have to become peaceful first. I cannot say that after the world becomes peaceful, then I will become peaceful. Everybody waits for it, then what will happen? One by one only each one has to change. So what can I do about it? There are a lot of problems which are there. So very practical tip is in 7 habits of highly effective people. He says circle of influence and circle of concern. My circle of influence may be 10 people. My circle of concern may be the whole universe. Can I focus on the circle of influence? should I focus on the circle of concern? Which one should I focus on? Concern. What I am concerned about, I cannot focus on, sorry. I should focus on the circle of influence, not concern. The focus of person should be on what I can influence. 10 people I can influence, no, I should change that, change myself. My concern may be the whole world, but I am not able to change the entire world. So I either focus on the circle of influence, nor am I able to do anything in the circle of concern. Then I am just going to be disturbed. So in the Geeta, what Bhagavan told Arjuna, Kauravas we cannot change. They tried their best. They could not change the Kauravas at all. And finally the war is a situation imminent, they have to fight. Now Arjuna, you change your attitude towards them and you do your duty. That's all, don't worry. Last anchor here is visualization and practice. Company of people who are calm, steady and strong, we have to have such people's company. Then our mind also becomes calm, steady and strong. That's what we call as satsang. Company of good people, positive people, inspiring people. And also visualize being calm. If I want my mind to be calm, I should know how to visualize being calm, not visualize the opposite. Many times we visualize the opposite and we give a lot of energy to that. Next time I meet this person, I am going to give a piece of my mind. I am going to tell this, I am going to show this person, you can't take me for granted. I am going to insult this person, do this, do that. Then you meet that person after 1 year. But every time I am thinking of that person, what is going to happen? I keep visualizing. So a lot of our time and energy goes many times in visualizing reactions, how to give it back, how do we show them what is in my mind, all that. So these are 5 anchors. How many we saw? First one was learn to accept life as it comes. Second one was do the work for its own sake. Third one was manage the sense inputs properly. Fourth one was do what you can do and drop what you can't do. And fifth one was visualize being calm and have the company of such people. So meditation is a very important step that helps us to develop this calmness. So daily some time that we spend will build the peace within us. And from Vedantic standpoint we always say that recognize that you are not the thoughts that come into the mind. You are the observer of the thoughts. So thoughts come and the thoughts go. If we identify with them, then we get carried away by them. But otherwise they just come and they go. One saint gave a very nice example. Suppose a donkey comes here, what will you do? Suppose a donkey comes. Will you jump on the donkey and say? You will allow the donkey to go, or you tell somebody to send it away. We don't sit on the donkey. So he said our thoughts are like a donkey. Every day 60,000 thoughts come in our mind and we are jumping on each of them. Just imagine what is our condition. At least for some time in a day, I should know how to step back from the thoughts and just watch them because they are just thoughts. They just come and they go. That ability to step back is the ultimate method of lasting peace. Till I am associated with the thoughts, I can be single pointed, I can be quiet. But the moment I step aside, then the lasting peace comes. So today, in the last part of our session now, we will spend some time in making the mind single pointed and learning how to step away from the thoughts. So all of us can sit erect. If you like, you can use the support of this form of Om. So sit erect, head, neck and the spine in a straight line. Close your eyes gently. Relax the shoulders. Let your both hands be in your lap, palms facing the sky. Come to a comfortable posture without any strain in any part of the body. Suggest to the mind that for the next 10 minutes I am steady and still without any movements. For the next 10 minutes I am steady and still without any movements. Except breathing, no other movement of the body. A still body is very important for a still mind. Be aware of the simple sounds around you. The sound of the rains, the sound of the children, the simple sounds around you. Just be aware without thinking further about it. Be aware of your body from the head to the toes, as though you are watching your own body from the top. This body is a tool that we have. We are not the body. Like a phone, we have a body. It's just an object. Just like you watch any other object, watch the body. It is seated on the chair, from the head to the toes. Be aware of your breath. As I say inhale, you can take a slow, steady and deep breath. And as I say relax, exhale slowly and let go of any stress or strain. Exhale all the air. Inhale. Relax. Inhale. Continue to breathe slow, steady and deep. Just like you observe the body, you are the observer of the breath also. The breath comes in and goes out. Be aware of each and every breath and let it be slow, steady and deep. Observe that the breath as it becomes slow, the mind becomes quiet. Now let us chant the mantra Om. If you can focus just on the sound of Om, that would be great. If you find that difficult, then also along with the sound, visualize the form of Om in the space between the two eyebrows. Visualize the circle of blue light and the form of Om in white color. Have the attitude that Om is the supreme sound symbol of the absolute truth, one infinite reality, pure consciousness. And I am connecting to my own true nature as pure consciousness through this Om. We will chant Om together for 11 times. Take a deep breath. Just as we observe the body and the breath, you can also observe the chanting of Om. The mind is chanting Om. I'm different from that. Every day, if we are able to practice just 10 minutes, we learn to quieten our mind, feel the peace. Mind which is quiet is a happy mind, a loving mind. This is a very simple method of how to quieten the mind. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of the body. And be aware of the happenings around you. We pray for the well-being of the whole universe. Send out your peace and love to the whole universe, and wish that may everyone be happy, may no one suffer, may there be prosperity and peace everywhere. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit